Countdown timer on. So, good morning everybody, oi oi people, it's Leaderslive, showtime, and we've got the short countdown timer now just while the various feeds catch up with us. So I can see a couple of you said good morning already in the pre-feed. Oh. Oh. What's happening there? I've got a bit of an echo. Can you hear that? Oh, I know what that is, I think. That's better. Uh-oh. Right, we've got some problems this morning. Let's just... That's it. Done it. Fixed it. Oh, dear. There was YouTube going on in the background, that's why we had that problem. So there we go, we're all sorted. So good morning everybody, it's Leaderslive time. We just had a bit of an echo issue we've just dealt with. We've got Nevsah this morning dialing in, so she's got a bit of a problem with the computer at the moment, so she'll be joining us very shortly. And good morning Christopher Beckmans, good morning team, he says. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, we've got good morning Jack Wright, yeah. So we're just waiting for Nevsah to join us again because her computer just went down. We had a couple of echo issues this morning as well, but we're all good. So there we go. Now, you'll notice that, so let me just bring up the moderator screen very quickly while we're just waiting for Nevsah to join us. We've got the lovely Shona Taylor in the room today because, yeah, morning Shona. Great to have a stand-in this morning. Now, Birdie, our usual moderator, she's very ill at the moment. She's got pneumonia, so lots of love out for her at the moment. So, yeah. So hopefully she'll recover fairly quickly. She's young and fit and healthy, so she'll be okay. So lots of love for her at the moment. But we've got the lovely Shona standing in instead. And Shona was on the show some time ago talking about breathwork, if you remember, folks. So... great to have her moderating today. We're just waiting for Nevsah to join us. So just while I'm doing that. So, oi oi people, it's Leaderslive showtime, folks. And it's just after 8:45 here in the UK. And Sawubona Abantu. That's a beautiful Zulu word for hello people. And it means I see you all deeply. I love that. And I direct my attention totally to you. All completely with joy and love. That's really what Sawubona Abantu stands for. So if you're so you know, we're live, we're spreading the love this morning. Yabba dabba do. Yeah, get well soon, Birdine. A lot of comments coming through right now for you, Birdine, if you're watching the show or you know, recovering in your sick bed. So if you're new to Leaderslive and you don't know me, I'm Andrew Jenkins. That's just Nevsah joining, so I'm just going to bring Nevsah in. Yep, here we go. She's joining. I think that's her. Just bear with me. Guest one. There we go. There she is. Lovely.
Yeah,
lovely.
I made it.
You've made it. Yes, well done. So if you don't know me, I'm Andrew Jenkins and we're streaming out on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook group or two, Twitter and Twitch as well. Ta-da! And if you can't catch us on live or replay, fear not, my friends, we have you covered. We go out on podcast too, 48 hours later or so. So if you're new to this interactive show, folks, please get involved and join in, ask questions, network with a live community. Even a little friendly banter goes a long way. So for you regulars, lead the way, show how we roll. Put it all together, what do we got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. So I think Nevsah's just frozen again. So I'm just going to just dial in again, Nevsah, if you can. 1 second, we'll just delete you out of the show just for a minute and then you'll come back in again. So in case you missed the beginning of the show, helping us to engage this morning, we have the lovely Shona Taylor today, acting on behalf of Birdine, our fab moderator, who's gone down with pneumonia, as I said earlier. So Shona will keep the interaction flowing this morning. So please feel free to reach out to Birdine and wish her a speedy recovery. Now, Shona knows about this subject of breath work very well and has been on the show recently talking about burnout and took us through a fantastic breathwork exercise as well. So in case Nevsah doesn't turn up for whatever reason because of her technology, then we can switch to Shona. We've got a backup plan, a plan B. Fantastic. How are you doing, Shona?
Yeah, very good. Lovely sunny day.
Lovely sunny day. Yeah, we've just got clouds at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be a good day. Let's just bring Nevsah back in again. Oh, lost her again. Don't know what happened there. She'll just dial in a moment. So, yeah, while we're just waiting for that, yeah, tell us a little bit about breathwork, Shona, while we're waiting for Nevsah to join in.
Okay. So I'll just explain a bit about how I know Nevsah because it
Please do.
was Nevsah who brought me on as a coach onto her Breath Hub platform, which she is the founder and CEO of.
Yeah.
So she has created this breathwork app. As you know, there are all sorts of wellbeing apps that you can download onto your phone now,
Yeah.
such as Headspace and Calm. And it's sort of now a trend where, people are actually using these quite a lot and finding them very helpful. Oh, there she is.
There we go.
I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. Why is this
Nevsah's had a
happening?
bit of difficulty dialing in this morning. So say hello to us, Nevsah. How you doing?
Hi. Hi.
The stress of going live, it's scary stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry, you're here now. So tell us a little bit about where we're heading today with you, Nevsah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about basically the reasons why we should practice breath work.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, you're coming across a little pixelated at the moment, so I don't know whether your internet connection's a bit low, but hopefully we'll keep on, and if we lose you, just dial back in again, no problem at
Yeah,
all.
I will.
So we're going to talk a little bit about breath work and the practice of energy breath work in the office as well, I take it today.
Yeah,
That's today's
yeah,
title.
yeah.
And also there'll be a chance for you guys all watching and listening at the moment to ask Nevsah questions. So get your questions prepared as we go as well. So why should we pay attention to this, folks? Well, Nevsah, you have a question for the audience. I don't know whether you've got that question ready or you want me to ask the question of the audience while we're
Yes,
just...
please.
Yeah, okay, so I'll do that for you. So, when it comes, folks, here's the first question. When it comes to your general stress and anxiety levels at work, how do you rate them on a scale of either low, spiking from time to time, or generally at a high level most of the time? So those are the three choices, and our lovely moderator, Shona, will pop those into the feed in a moment so that you can see that question. So when it comes to general stress and anxiety levels at work, how would you rate them on a scale of either low, spikes from time to time, or generally high most of the time? So please pop your comments in the feed as we're going along. You know how it works. So please pop those in and we'll start the interaction going as we are heading through. And we've just lost Nevsah again, so I'm just going to bring Shona in just for a minute while we do that. Let's just see if I can do that. Right, there you go, Shona.
Right.
Right, we've
Okay.
just got you in temporarily while we're waiting for Nevsah to join in again. So as I mentioned briefly in the countdown, Shona's our standing moderator today while Bodin recovers from pneumonia. Oh dear. So, and we've got our first interaction here. So Russell says, morning Russell Anderson Williams, spiking from time to time. Okay, so please keep those interactions going. And while we're waiting for the feed to catch up, just let me just quickly say, okay, so listen, smash those likes too, folks, for us, and those thumbs up. That we really appreciate that. That keeps us motivated too as we're going along. And in South African terms, that's called laka laka. So likey, please. And please subscribe to our Leaderslive YouTube channel as well. It's a group effort to help it to grow from a fledgling site to something much bigger and getting its own wing. So we'll put the link in the feed as and when Shona can get round to it. So back to, and we're still waiting for Nevsah to join in. So just back to the general comments that are going on. Let me just bring, oh, here's Nevsah again. Lovely. Let's just bring Nevsah back in again. Okay, so I'm going to pop you into there.
Hello again.
How you doing? All right. Lovely. Okay, you're back
Yeah,
again.
I decided to change my Wi-Fi
Okay, okay. Well,
Let's
hopefully
try.
that looks a lot better. So we're just on the first question at the moment, and let's just bring the moderator scene in the moment. So what's going on in the? Oh, I just need to. I've lost Shona for a minute. Shona, if you can dial in again, that would be great, please. Let me just assign. Oh, there she is. It's okay. I've got you. Bear with me. There we go. Super. What's going on in the chat this morning then, Shona?
Right, so we have a lot of lovely greetings, and I placed the question in.
Yeah,
so
lovely. Thank
Russell you. Says spiking from time to time, and Laurie says generally low but recently high at my old job. Now that I'm not dealing with that BS anymore, back down to generally low.
Oh, brilliant. It all goes to, there's something about the job role there, isn't there? And depending on how stressful our jobs are and how much BS there is, that's a technical term, I think, Laurie. So brilliant. Okay, carry on, Berdine. Sorry, Shona, apologies. Slip of the tongue there.
And Matthias says
Morning,
spiking
Matthias.
from time to time, depending on the season.
Oh,
it can be stressful all day, other days a bit more.
A bit more relaxing. Okay, fine. Thank you. Good stuff. Okay, and then Matthias says, thank you for the link. That's the link to, I think that's the link to the YouTube channel in case this one falls down, not the YouTube channel itself. So, and Shona, is there something from Jack there?
Right, let's just have a look. I
think that's it there. So Jack says, I think everyone's stress and anxiety levels at work spike time to time. Yeah, mine is generally low, but I think it is about how you think about the stress and anxiety will depend on how long it lasts. Okay, thank you. Any comments from you, Nevsah, on that last comment? Nevsah, can you hear us okay? I think we've lost Nevsah again. I'm not sure we're getting you through, Nevsah, at the moment. Can you hear us, Nevsah? I think we're going to have to get her to dial in again. Let's just bring Nevsah back in again. I'm going to just kick you out, and then if you dial back in again, Nevsah, just in case you can, hopefully you can hear me. Oh, you've muted yourself. So if you unmute yourself, that would be handy. Thank you, Nevsah. It says guest has muted themselves. There's a little tick box. You can just unmute yourself, Nevsah. Okay, so just while Nevsah's just trying to figure out the technology, Nevsah, you've muted yourself. You can't see it. I'll just kick you out and come back in again. Okay. Yeah, we can't hear you, Nevsah. 1 second. Right, okay. So, Laurie says, very interesting in the discussion today. I am currently writing the chapter on occupational stress impacting employee productivity for my dissertation. Oh, right. So be careful, everyone. I need case studies. Well, if we can help you out, that's part of what we do. So, morning again. Are we back on?
Now?
Hey, yeah, we can.
I didn't mute myself. I don't know why. It looks like unmuted. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
This technology doesn't like me.
No, you're having a bad day with the tech today. Hopefully we'll be okay. So Nevsah, we've had a few comments about work.
I can quickly share.
Yeah, please do.
I listen to all of it. Like I'm going to share something I think different than what people think. Most people think stress is very much stress depends or anxiety depends on the mental set or the mental levels.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm going to talk more about the physiological side of stress and the physiological side of anxiety and physiological side of panic attack.
Yeah.
So many people think panic attack, anxiety, stress are psychological or it's mental, but actually it can be very physiological, and it can be because of a physiological change in the body, which I'm going to talk about. It's very breathing related because many people have wrong breathing habits. Yeah. Because many people breathe dysfunctional during the day, which means they breathe in a specific way, which leads to a change in our chemistry, which leads to a change and respiratory chemistry.
You're breaking up a little bit, Nevsah. Can you hear that delay, or is it just me, Shona?
It's delaying for me as well.
It's delaying
yeah.
for you as well.
Many people.
We're just going to... I've just pop Nevsah out. Here she comes joining it again. Yeah. The internet's playing up this morning, so yeah, don't know what's happening there. Let me just reassign. Oh, I've lost her again. Okay, so she'll dial in a moment. So Matthias says, in the meantime, a Norwegian author wrote a book about stress and how to live with it. She described that there are two types of stress, time-based and task-based. And the first type of stress is about doing things within a limited time. And the second type of stress, if I can find it again, where's it gone? Is about doing a task. If you have both types of stress present, it's a negative stress. Okay, which is not sustainable for you in the long run. Then you should start to observe your body's warning signals. What say you, Shona, while we're waiting for Nevsah to join us again?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, because I particularly have a stress around, I think the time and task thing I can relate to, especially as when I was a student and having to meet deadlines. That kind of brings back my university days. Actually, yeah.
Those university days, and actually Laurie talks about university at the moment as well. Very interesting. I'm, as we said earlier, currently writing a chapter on occupational stress impacting employee productivity for my dissertation. Be careful, everyone. I need case studies, so I know we're repeating that. But Nevsah, come and join in. So you were saying about breathing.
I'm trying on multiple channels. Trying on another channel. Let's see.
Brilliant. Carry on for us, Nevsah.
Yeah, so so where I don't know where I cut off, but many
talking about stress
think,
at work.
Yeah, so many people think stress, anxiety, panic are very much physiological, psychological problems, and they think it's mental and it's psychological, but actually there is a physiological reason why we feel anxious or why we feel stressed or why we are like hyperactive. And it is the dysfunctional breathing habits we have. It is the wrong breathing habits we have.
So tell us a bit more about that, actually. It looks like you've just delayed in your... we've just got a bit of a delay again. Oh, dear. Oh, we're really struggling this morning with the technology. So I'm just going to ditch Nevsah again, and then she'll dial in once more. These things happen when we're live, folks, so just bear with us a little bit. So dysfunctional breathing, Shona, just carry on while we're waiting for Nevsah. Luckily, Shona knows all about this stuff because she is highly practiced in this.
Yes, well, not quite as much as Nevsah, of course.
There she comes.
Is she coming back?
She is. There she is. Nevsah's back in the room. There you go. Yeah, carry on. Dysfunctional breathing.
Kind of
And we're all still calm and we're breathing properly. So there we go.
Yeah, so there is a physiological reason behind why we are stressed, because if we are breathing dysfunctional, if we have a unhealthy breathing habits, that will change the respiratory chemistry, which will change the pH levels in our blood, in the body fluids, and which will lead to actually a panic attack or anxiety or feeling stressed. And it is mainly chemical. It's not psychological.
So the chemicals are the thing that sets up our physiology sets up for anxiety, right? Presumably, is that right? Oh, I've lost her again. 1 second. There we go. Sorry, there you go. Get rid of that one. Can you hear us still, Nevsah? Let's bring... There she is. Oh, gosh. I'm getting multiple dial-ins at the moment. 1 second. Just reassign Nevsah. There we are. I think she should be back in the room by now. No. Lost her again. Right, we'll just wait for her to dial in. Oh, here she is again. 1 second. Reassign. There we go, Nevsah. Can you hear us, Nevsah? No, lost her. Can you pick up from where she was, Shona, while we're waiting?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm,
So, as I understand it, there is like a triggering response.
yeah,
So it almost like, when it triggers our emotions as well. So we have a thought which triggers our emotions, which triggers our physiology. And then, so with the breath, the chemistry will change radically. And I recall, I mean, probably other people have experienced that too, where your breath becomes so shallow. When you're in a state of shock, you actually stop breathing almost altogether. Your breath is so shallow. And then it changes that pH. It creates nausea. It creates all of these other symptoms and feelings, which, then lead to physical shaking, panic attacks, and so on, because you literally haven't been breathing.
because you literally haven't been breathing correctly.
Yeah.
And you've been breathing dysfunctionally. Okay. Nevsah, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can.
Fantastic.
But
Okay.
I'll probably cut off again.
No problem. So we're just talking about dysfunctional breathing and how that physiologically affects us through chemistry. And it all rides in through a thought, which then produces spikes in emotion, which then sets off our kinesiology. And then through our kinesiology, we end up with dysfunctional breathing, where we're breathing too high in our chest, I guess, Nevsah. So take it from there. Oh, I've lost her again. 1 second. There she is. I'll reassign her. 1 second. Nevsah, there you go. Can you hear us, Nevsah?
Yeah, I think
Lovely.
it's best if you continue.
Yeah, no problem. Carry on. Carry on, Nevsah.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's it. Okay. So our physiology has a lot to do with this, which is triggered by our thoughts and emotions, is where we got to. Nevsah, is that correct? I think we've lost Nevsah again, so I'm just going to just knock Nevsah out. I'm going to reassign you into guest. Oh, here she comes again. The internet is not playing ball this morning at all. So, no, I've lost her again.
So I'll read out some comments.
Yes,
maybe.
please. Yeah, thank you.
So Cecile says, morning everyone. Breathing is in the heart of meditation and stretching exercises, but during university deadlines, I think being organized also helps to prevent stress and bad breathing.
Yeah. The morning, Cecile. Yeah, very true indeed. So I think being organised also helps prevent stress and bad breathing, dysfunctional breathing. And Cecile just says to you, Laura, I'll be happy to help as well. And is this another comment from Laura? Is it? So
yeah, she says, I think technical problems are ironically a real world test for our stress and reaction. Yes.
As we're finding out this morning. Brilliant. So I'm just going to reassign you to the guest one slot, so just to take over temporarily while we are waiting. This is an interesting one. I'm just going to move your computer just the screen. There you go. Russell says, I did a Wim Hof experience on Sunday and was amazed at what you can achieve with concentrated breath work. He's an amazing character. Yeah, the man with the cold showers as well. He was. I do cold showers every morning, so because of Wim Hofman. So I think Jack says this. He says, I think the internet is forcing us to use breathing exercises.
That's it.
Ah, brilliant.
Forces you to pause. The thing is to become conscious about it, because I think what Nevsah's driving at is that we develop completely unconscious breathing habits, and as a result we don't associate the responses we're getting physiologically, whether it be the panic attacks or the brain fog or those things, with our breathing. But as soon as we start developing breathing and we practice it, it starts to become our default to correcting what is happening in our experience. Oh,
Okay, tell us a little bit more about that. Yeah, we just swapped you over for a minute, Nevsah.
Okay,
so
so I'm
so
Shona.
Shona, you're now Nevsah, and Nevsah is now Shona. Just
Great experience, Shona. Huh?
we're just practicing literally our breathing at the moment because the internet keeps on going down, and poor old Nevsah has to keep on dialing in. So it's testing our relaxation points very well. Indeed. And Sarah Brown says, morning everyone, such an interesting topic, completely relate to how breathing impacts us at the core. So, and now we've got Nevsah back in the room, and she looks like she's just paused again for a moment. So let me just see if I can bring her back in again. Oh dear, we're having such trouble with, let me just bring, there you go again, there you are.
It is testing our nerves.
It is. So, Nevsah, what's the science supporting breath work, and rebalance? How do we rebalance what you've been talking about in terms of dysfunctional breathing? Just talk us through that, Shona.
Yeah, so first of all, I think
Nevsah.
it's very important for all of us to understand that there is no right way of breathing. Many people think like diaphragmatic breathing is the healthy way to breathe, or that breathing, or this breathing, but actually there is no best way to breathe. When you look at breathing, our body needs all kinds of breathing.
Yeah, we can still hear you. Oh, we've lost her again. Oh, fantastic. Here we go. Let's just bring, there you go. We're back in the room.
So I'll just continue. Our
body please do. Yeah,
all kinds of breathing. Our body needs to breathe shallow. It needs to breathe in the diaphragm, in the chest, everywhere in in any area. So practicing regular breath work, especially with different techniques every day, with a different technique, with a different method every day, works.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about that. How would we go about that? Oh, we've just lost her just for a moment. Shona, how do we go about that? The different types of breathing techniques. What? I know there's an app for that, but how do we go about that?
So the Breath Hub app is very comprehensive and covers. I think we've got around about 800 different breathing.
Oh wow! Gosh.
Methods. Yeah. There are many different routes of breathwork practice, of course, and different styles. Some are more to do with performance, so they might be helping you with the physiology of breathing and with improving your breath strength, if you like, and with your diaphragmatic strength. So that will help in things like performance and sports, but also if you're having to really perform at work as well. So these are good for strength building. And then there's another branch which is more therapy based, which is more about trauma release.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, there are quite a few different sort of schools of breathing that have developed around that. One of the first ones was rebirthing, which was began by a man called Leonard Orr in the 1960s, 70s. Then there's something called holotropic breath work. There's transformational breath work, conscious connected breath work. So these are the branches that are more to do with the therapeutic
side.
Breath work. Yeah.
So I was taught in NLP, Shona, that if we breathe very high up in our chest, then that in some ways mimics the physiology of anxiety. And so if we can take our breath from the top and move it further down, say to our abdominal area, then we have a completely different physiological response to things that are happening. If we can train our brains or our bodies to do that, and breathe differently, then it really helps. Have you got any sort of thoughts on that from your side, Shona?
So when we're trying to, breath has kind of a couple of functions, really.
Yeah.
I see it as we're either trying to excite ourselves, you're either trying to get energy, or you're trying to calm it down. So you either stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, which you need when you need a burst of energy, when you need to sprint off somewhere, then you'll be breathing high and fast.
Yeah.
But when you want to calm, you're going to breathe from the
Deeper.
abdominal place. So if you want to engage your parasympathetic nervous system, you're going to want to switch that around.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when we need lots of energy, we need to switch our breathing to be higher up. And when we need to calm down and relax, then we need to drop our breathing lower down. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's kind of
Interesting.
how it works. I mean, I think if you burst into a run now, you would just, your body knows what to do.
Yeah.
So you just trust in that process. So
Yeah.
so Nevsah's explained we do need all different variety of breathing. Our body kind of does it naturally, but when we develop poor habits, we do need to develop these conscious practices to
So what would be an example of poor practice then, just so that we can understand what the difference is between good practice and bad practice?
Well, without going into too many specifics, because I think this is all very personal and individual, and it would depend on what sort of symptoms that person is experiencing and what their problems are. And one would just have to, again, it's very bespoke. You would have to go into looking at what their sleep patterns are like. You have to look at what their nervous system is like in terms of how they respond to the world and how they react to things. If they have brain fog, there is on the app actually, which is why it's so comprehensive. You can take an individual breath test, and then it will throw up around 30 exercises specific to you to help you.
That's
and
interesting.
and it will give you how the capacity, what your capacity is. So you might only be breathing 50% to capacity and efficiency. But as you work through your own bespoke program, you can retake the test, and then you'll see how much you've improved. So, if you want that, what I would say is the best, most accurate way of determining what you're breathing.
That's really clever. Right. So so there's literally an app for that. I love that.
Yeah.
Have you got reference
on the Breath Hub app, which is what Nevsah has founded? There is a test you can take on the app, bespoke for you, and then within the actual system, it will recommend all the different exercises that are there.
Okay. So I think Antonia, your colleague, is on the line at the moment listening. So Antonia, if you're listening, could you pop the link in for the app, please, and any research? Matthias has asked for any research that you've got on blogs or things like that are helpful. That might be really useful if you're still listening, Antonia, just so that we can get links to the app while Shona's talking on behalf of Nevsah at the moment. So Nevsah is actually Shona at the minute, because Nevsah's just been booted out rather rudely from where she is, poor thing. So we've had internet problems to get Nevsah up. So any links that you can share for us, Antonia, would be fantastic to save Shona doing that straight away while she's talking.
So shall we look at some comments?
Yeah, let's look at some comments.
So I'm not sure how far back I've missed. Right.
I think Matthias says here, today's technical problems must be the ultimate stress test.
Yeah.
And we're still doing okay, so there we go.
So Antonia's here. She says, you're amazing and well done, everybody.
Brilliant.
Matthias says, hang on a second. Very interesting what you're sharing about those articles, Shona. Can you please share some of those with us in the audience?
Yeah, hopefully Antonia will fail to fetch those out for us, or if Nevsah's still listening somehow, then she could pop them in the feed. I don't know. But we'll get to that, Matthias.
Cecile says, I did not know about different breathing techniques.
Yeah.
So maybe it's important to know what is related and work for self. Thanks, Shona, very enlightening. Yeah, again, I would just recommend doing the test. So the app itself, you do get a 7 days trial just to try.
Okay, 7 days try before you buy. And it's very reasonable. I think it's something like $12.99 a month or something. It's very doable. I mean, I use it daily, I have to say. Because
I find I'm learning from other coaches as well. You know, you can never completely know everything.
No, and it's about becoming consciously aware of your own programs, right? And everyone's sort of slightly more individual, which is what the app does for you, right? I presume.
Exactly. I mean, we have on the actual app, we have also comprehensive like 21-day courses. So you could actually just do a whole 21-day challenge, 7-day challenges. We have, you know, breath work was more associated with meditation, more with performance and function, you know, anxiety, detoxing. There's just like a huge
Huge
number.
amount, yeah.
Huge number. And then, you know, you know, literally will find there's something for everybody. Yeah.
There's something for everybody. I love that. Okay, so an example of anxiety and stress. My mother's a very, very nervous character, and
Yeah.
I often say, you know, we comment that she has her shoulders up by her earrings. Because, you know, she's lifted up her shoulders so high, and
Yeah.
our guess is that is in response to stress. So she breathes very high up, and very shallow breathing, because she's constantly very nervous.
Yeah.
And I spend in as a counter to those things, you know, having the genetics, you know, if you like, of my mum and dad, recognizing quite early on that my mother was like that, and then started to consciously breathe differently when I started to learn skills about that.
Yeah.
And then in my 40s, having done a lot of breathing work myself, trained my body to breathe more abdominally. It took about 3 months to train my brain to do that sort of effectively, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really helped me tremendously to feel, you know, calm and collected. And you know, I was never like my mother, but nevertheless, you know, I wanted to change physiological programs.
Yeah, we also we learn the behaviors of our parents. My mum was
Yeah,
also quite a highly strung person, and that's definitely came down to me.
yeah.
So for me, the breath work has been, because by the way, before this, you know, I was a smoker
Oh,
actually.
right, okay.
Yeah, during my 20s, and
Snap.
that was. And I think smokers actually just want to breathe. This is what I've come to understand, is that, you know, you're sucking on a cigarette. You just want to kind of, you go out and you have a cigarette break. Is that, but actually you just want to breathe.
Yeah.
And smokers do become reborn breathers. It's an interesting thing. So for me,
Wow.
the breath has become my go-to, um, instead of having cigarette, because, you know, I'm not there now.
No, indeed. How long's that been since you've last smoked?
Um,
Quite a while, since your 20s, you said, so you
yeah,
don't need to give away your age.
probably, yeah, probably sort of early 30s, and
Mm,
then, you know, I did have a bit of a bounce back when I had a massive breakup, but you
yeah,
know, that
yeah.
was.
And did the
uh,
breathing help you with overcoming those kind of things that happen to you in life with breakdowns and
yeah,
things?
definitely does, because it just grounds you again. And
Mm,
also, what's important to recognize is that when you breathe, you connect back to your cardiovascular, so you're connecting back into your heart as well, so you then start to feel again. Most people will want to suppress their feelings going through difficult times, but when you activate that, then you're able to, you know, release. It's like taking the cork off a bottle, and just like you can just let that all go, because when we're holding, um, you know, a lot of emotions and stress and anxiety, it actually takes energy away from us. It,
yeah,
yeah,
it removes
it's
it from our
draining. It's
bandwidth, right?
exhausting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exhausting. It literally does. It takes up bandwidth. So if you look at it like that, and
Mm,
when you're able to release that and let that go, you literally, it just brings you back to your 0 point, and the breath is the most immediate and powerful way to do that. Yeah.
that's well said. So actually, yeah, taking it back to that point where you're fully balanced and you've got your entire resources available to you, your bandwidth available to you to manage what's going on around you.
That's
Whereas,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. You're more resourceful. You're more resourceful. Yeah.
that's really, really interesting. Yeah, Antonia, yeah, Nev's just trying to get in. Yeah, we've we haven't seen her dialing in again yet, so there might be her internet connections just got worse. I don't know, Antonia. As soon as she dials in again, we'll pick her up, no problem. Laurie says this while you're just having a breather. This is the basis of Lames, breathing during labour. Ooh, okay.
Well, there you go. That's a perfect example. In fact, in our mainstream, it's the only time we're taught how to breathe properly is when we're giving birth.
It's the only time. So blokes never get that advantage then, right?
Sadly, yeah.
Okay, so Antonia's saying we actually have lost Nevsah, no problem. Antonia, if you can just pop in the links for the app, that would be fantastic, and any articles which people who've dialed in can refer to. That would be really interesting if you can grab hold of those, just put them in the feed for us. That would be handy. Thank you, Antonia. Yeah, we've had technical problems this morning if you've just joined in, so yeah. Okay, so Matteo says, wow, that's so interesting to hear about, Shona. Had no idea about the connection between smoking cigarettes and breathing for reducing stress, but it makes sense the way you put it. Yeah, there's something about that smoking thing that really does kind of temporarily help, doesn't it? You know, but it's only temporary, I guess, Shona, or it's a mask.
It's a mask.
It's a mask.
That's why I was saying that I think smokers simply want to breathe. That's all they're really wanting to do. But of course, then they're kind of hooked on the chemical side of it as well.
Of course, yeah, the nicotine and all the rest of it. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Okay, so when it comes to the workplace then, you know, what easy 5-minute breathwork technique could you teach us, Shona, to begin improving our own well-being at work? Let's say, you know, we just want to just manage our stress levels at work, and I guess we're all kind of very similar in that regard, potentially. Manage those spikes.
So, a very good one, which people seem to really like, I often share, is called box breathing.
Box breathing.
Yeah. So it's basically a 4-count breath, and you breathe in for the count of 4, you hold for the count of 4, you breathe out for the count of 4, and then you hold for the count of 4.
Oh.
And you just do that and you can increase the counts as you build up. You just repeat that for 3-5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes. You could just cycle round for 3. Okay.
Or as long as feels good. You just
Okay.
cycle round, and it's what I call a very centering breath. So it just helps you kind of like
recenter.
Just reset. It's a very good reset breath.
Reset. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, so sorry, Paul Winfield just says, sorry I'm late, signal poor by the canal today. Love this subject. Great to have you online, Paul. As you know, we're struggling with some tech this morning, and Nevsah's not been able to join it, but the lovely Shona has joined in instead, because she knows all about this subject. Hey, could I put you on the spot for a minute, Shona, and just teach us that box breathing just for a moment? So would you do a live demo for us?
No problem.
Live demo time, folks.
Okay,
Go for it.
You're going to breathe in through the nose, and you're going to breathe in to the count of 4. And then you hold for 4 and breathe out through the mouth. And then hold on the out breath for 4. And then the same.
Well, and then the same.
So you're going to, when you breathe in, you breathe up to your full capacity, and it shouldn't be a tense thing. It should be just a natural breath in, but right to the top.
Yeah.
Hold. Then right to the bottom. Hold.
Yeah.
And what you will notice is you will start to feel some tingling, some real changes happening inside your physiology. So that one is a great centering breath.
And do it continuously for 5 minutes, Shona. Sorry to
or 2-3 minutes, whatever you fancy.
Whatever you fancy. Yeah. So there you go. 5 minutes.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. There's a song in there somewhere. So any thoughts and comments from you guys on the other side? Please give us your comments on the 5-minute box exercise that we've just done, which was breathe in through your nose for 4, hold for 4, breathe out through your mouth for 4, and then hold on the bottom with no breath for 4, and then rebreathe, and then repeat and go through the whole cycle again, and you start to feel more recentered, and it's a reset program, right? Yeah, take a look at Wim Hof, says Paul Winfield. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, so he does extended breath hold, which those increase the nitric oxide content in your bloodstream. So nitric oxide is an amazing gas which we get actually through our nasal breathing and through our breath retention, but it has it stimulates the immune system essentially. So, and it creates it gets your T cells working, and also breath retention helps you regenerate new cells basically. So that's why these kind of breath works also in ancient terms is related to longevity.
Aging, I suppose, yeah.
Anti-aging, yeah, stops you age because you basically regenerate your cells through breath work.
That is absolutely fascinating. I'm going to come back onto that in a moment. Antonia's just given us the link. So www.breathhub.app. And then there's a blog site there as well with the latest news, tips, articles from the Breath Hub team. That's on behalf of Nevsah and her team. Thanks, Antonia. Brilliant. Yeah, I
believe Nevsah will be doing a training at some point later this year, and because she is trained in the breathwork sciences, she's been doing it for so many years. She's very advanced breath worker and breathwork trainer. So if anyone was interested in that as well, I think we can reach out to Antonia and find out more.
Yeah, please reach out through myself or directly through to Nevsah or Shona for that. We'd love to help and support that. I'll certainly be joining in on that. Cecile's just brought up this comment here, and hi Shona, I tend to have a blocked nose and makes it difficult to breathe properly from it. Any tips that could help? Yeah.
Yes. So I would say you need to kick gluten and dairy out of your diet, and that will go.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Move more onto a kind of keto-based diet. I don't know if you eat meat, but high raw food, lots of raw food, and juicing, and also sugar. And that will go straight away. So then you won't have a blocked nose anymore.
That is really interesting. So this is quite diet related as well. And,
yeah. It's
Paul,
inflammation and mucus, you see.
I see. Which is did you say gluten related?
Yeah. So grains, white
stuff,
pasta, flour, any of that stuff.
All the nice stuff, right? Yeah.
Kick it out.
Kick it out. There you go. Okay. Yeah, Paul just adds here, it also depends on the quality of air that we breathe.
True, Paul. Yeah.
I've got one of these filters in my bedroom because I struggle with dust, and I find that really helps. Actually, you don't even hear it. It's so low, and it's about, I don't know, it cost us about 40, 50, 60 quid. I can't remember. It just goes on all day. We just let it just run, and it just filters out the air beautifully. Actually, and that's
amazing.
Really helped.
Great tip.
Yeah. So any of you looking for that, I can share a link on that later. But brilliant piece of kit, actually, absolutely fantastic. So that sparked off a whole chain reaction here. So Paul says agree. Seed oils bad too. Oh,
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Okay.
Paul.
So Paul, things like nuts and things, and Shona perhaps as well. I love nuts. So is that because they're seed oils, are they, or is that something else?
No, it's the refined nonsense. You've got to get your extra virgin cold press oils.
Okay.
And then with nuts, it's good to soak them because they have a chemical on them which gives it that bitter taste, but it also makes them not very digestible. So if you activate your nuts, you soak them overnight, drain them off, and then you can lightly roast them or just have them raw, and then that bitter stuff comes off, and then very good. That's raw. It's different to like refined sunflower oil.
Okay, gotcha. Got you. Okay, thank you for that. And I know Paul is a big fan of this. I spoke to Paul the other day, and he said learn to fast. Intermittent fasting is a big thing for him. How about you, Shona?
Yeah, fasting's amazing. It's very good. I tend to do a gut cleanser every year, once a year as well, and do a juicing fast. I can't normally do a big dry fast or water fast because I've got a small frame, so I keel over. And I'm a mum. I've got to function with my two kids. So
Yeah, indeed. I have to say I do a lot of fasting. I tend to just not eat until about 2 o'clock. So just to get rid of an intermittent fast on that basis.
Yes, I do intermittent all the time. I don't normally eat till 11, 12 in the morning.
Yeah, snap. Yeah, and it really helps actually. And it's amazing how this is linked, isn't it? We're talking about breathing, but actually we're now on to food stuff, which is interesting. And Laurie says, removing dairy from my son's diet cleared up his constant congestion and ear infections. Oh, yeah, interesting. It took about 6 weeks. There you go, folks, 6 weeks. So that's brilliant. Okay. Yes, I'm limiting my gluten, says Cecile, but we'll do more. It's those croissants, Cecile. Yeah, she's French, so
yeah, the French love their breads.
Don't they just? I love their breads too. So, and no dairy, says Cecile. Yeah, again, I like a good coffee. So, however, my daughter has started taking oat milk in her coffee, and it's really helped her. Okay, so how's this related to breathing again? Just join this back together for us for the breathing and the chemicals that you talked about.
When you have hugely, actually, your diet and your breath, when you are carrying a lot of mucus, it creates a mouth breathing when you're asleep, which is then, snoring basically and apnea.
Okay, interesting.
So, and then it's this sound, and then then it's throat infection, asthma, all of those things come from if you are fully congested in your sinuses and your mouth breathing at night, then you'll have all of those problems. So they are very linked.
Very intrinsically linked, folks. That's really, really interesting. And going back to the chemical reaction again, I'm fascinated by that. You talked about nitrates or nitrogen and the oxygen balance. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? That's just sounds. I know Nevsah was going to share a lot about that, and unfortunately she hasn't been able to dial in this morning.
Well, I don't know the deep science too off by heart, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I can say that essentially when there are different ways that the nitric oxide is triggered too, but in the breath work, it is done, through breathing in through the nose, but also through the breath retention. And I think it's released from our epithelial cells or something, if you want to go really deep.
Really deep, yeah, there's some science behind this. Yeah.
And then it helps with everything, like literally organ function and tissue regeneration. And I think research it, because off the top of my head, I can't go into all the detail.
Yeah.
But it basically, the more you are able to activate it in a balanced way, that it just regenerates your whole. If you do a massive breath work session, what I say is you need to do a big 20 to 30 minute breath work session. You'll find some big long ones on the app. You'll have this wow experience, and you'll literally feel different.
Yeah. Okay. So just by practicing it fairly regularly for a little, how many weeks do we think before you'll start to really see a difference?
Well, immediately.
And then 2 weeks, I guess.
If you do, yeah. So, for instance, on the event I just did, I did about 25-minute session with the group, and we did some breath retention, and I varied the session. They came up to me afterwards. One woman in particular, she says, that's the most amazing thing I've ever experienced.
Simple, just breathing, just a regular
Yeah,
exercise. Amazing.
it's a big thing when you really do a big session. That's where you experience it, and then you'll be hooked.
There you go. Do a big session with Nevsah's team and you'll be hooked. And Antonia earlier just said, we will send the affiliate link to download the Breath app to everyone who's accepted the invitation. So there you go, folks. So all of you that have accepted the invitation, you will get an affiliate link, which is presumably some money off, I'm guessing. I would have thought. So, and that's free at least for the first seven days anyway. So, yeah. Brilliant. Okay, and back to the comments again. Cecile says, "Hi, yes, Andrew, love a good baguette. Taking brown bread much better for the digestion." Okay, Paul joins in and just says, "Inflammation regulates acid-base balance," which is the breathing piece.
That's right. There's the alkalinity that Nevsah mentioned before. Also, blood sugar. Your blood sugar is balanced with regular breath work. It will. Get you out of type 2 diabetes. Lots of things can be corrected with breath work. And in fact, Niraj, I can never say his surname, I always forget, the man who founded Soma Breathwork, he's also friends with us. We have one of his trainers on the Breath app, Dana. He healed himself from colon... what was it? He had a very serious colon problem where it bleeds. I don't know what it's called. He healed himself with breath work doing that, and healthy and a better diet.
Healthy diet.
Got off all the pharmaceutical, and he was a pharmacist. He got off all the pharmaceutical drugs, left the pharmacy industry, did his breath work, and then he did an Ayurvedic diet, and he cleared up the... I can't remember what it's called again. Anyway, it's very serious colon issue that will develop into cancer afterwards.
In time. Has a propensity to do so. What other diseases can we expect that we could get some respite from, or even cure from, using this?
Well, all the basically respiratory problems. So, bronchial, asthmatic.
Interesting.
They can all be fixed. As I mentioned, diabetes, obviously, along with a diet that works as well. Alongside. There are just so many. It's hard to...
But all the it's interesting, isn't it? So our breath and our diet are so intrinsically linked, and also linked to our ultimate health as well. So these two things are so massively linked. Antonia's just popped in, who's Nevsah's colleague and Shona's colleague, just to say, look, please accept our apology. Unfortunately, Nevsah's internet crashed. Yes, it did. No problem. We carried on anyway, because that's the kind of crazy kids we are. So I'm so glad that we had Shona on the show today. There was an instinct why I reached out to Shona. I was saying to Shona earlier that I was looking for Shona came to my mind straight away, and I thought, well, okay, I'll hold Shona in reserve. And I asked a few other regulars on the show as well, and no one could make it. And it was brilliant, because actually Shona was meant to be, and she was the first person I thought about. And this is the reason why, folks, things just happen for a reason. Antonia says, well done.
Oh, you're welcome, darling.
Brilliant. So thank you very much indeed. And are there any other workplace related stuff that we could talk about, some practical things about breathing in the workplace that helps us?
So essentially, things like brain fog.
Brain fog, right.
Dispelled. Obviously too much being stationary will create, stagnation. So one breath little exercise which will help with brain fog is, it depends how well you can breathe through your nose, but you put two fingers here, you have your thumb on one nostril and a ring finger on the other one, and you alternate your breathing. So you breathe in through your right nose, then you block that nostril off, and then you breathe out through your left nostril.
Wow.
Then you swap it around again.
So you balance up.
So, and that actually balances both hemispheres of your brain. If you have blocked nose, normally we have one nostril that's slightly more blocked than the other.
Yeah, I have.
Don't
Yeah, true.
notice, though.
Yeah.
If you struggle with that and you have a really blocked nose, a good one to start with is when you in-breath, you do a fast in-breath and you breathe in for, let's say, 4, and you breathe out for 2.
Yeah.
In for 4. So you swap it round. Instead of doing a long out breath and a short in breath, which is for calming down, you can just swap it around. So you're going to do a longer in breath through the nose and a fast or shh, like that.
Yeah, like an energy booster.
And you do a few of those. So it's a longer in breath, shorter out breath, few of those, and it will just like, you'll be buzzing.
A new person, folks. You'll be, quote, you'll be buzzing. How about that? Fantastic. Yeah, Antonia just says, with the Breath Hub app, you can get a breath score immediately by taking the breath analysis test. We talked about that earlier. Thanks, Antonia. Yep, that sounds like a great thing to have. Jack Wright just says, having COVID introduced me to brain fog. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know it existed before. Yeah.
We have breathwork sessions for post-COVID on the app as well.
There you go. The app is everything for all people, for men and mice. How about that? Fantastic. Shona, thank you ever so much for introducing us to that. A quick shout out for Nevsah and her team, which includes Shona actually. So Nevsah, who was supposed to be on the show today, just couldn't make it of internet connections. LinkedIn.com. And her link is there. Shona will put that in the link shortly. Nevsah Karamehmet website, nevsah.co.uk, and then the app is the Breath Hub, all one word, .app. That's the company, and the company federation is Breath Coaching Federation, all one word, .org. So there you are. And if you want to reach out to Nevsah directly, that's nevsah@nevsah.com. Or Shona Taylor, what's your email address, Shona?
You can just reach me at shona.taylor@gmail.com at the moment.
Shona.taylor@gmail.com, so you can reach out to Shona directly as well. So thank you ever so much for that.
There.
Yeah, thank you. Those links.
Yeah,
they're coming into the comments shortly. Cecile just said, Dr. Shebby was a great support of mucus sources for infection and cured many diseases such as cancer and HIV by plants. Alkaline diet recommended, I suppose. Yes. Great breathing comes out of it, I think, is probably what that says.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
fantastic.
Alkalinity, basically. Anything acidic in your system will create inflammation and anaerobic, which means lack of oxygen.
Lack of oxygen.
If you're breathing really well, then your body's always well oxygenated, and if you have an alkaline diet, then you basically don't get sick.
Then you don't get sick, folks. There you go. All those common colds disappear. Fantastic. So listen, we're just going to wrap up right now. So thanks again, Shona, for enlightening us today. And thank you for taking over in a difficult situation. We made the best of it. And we've had an extraordinary conversation today. We've loved having you back on the show again, Shona. And sorry for Nevsah that her internet just crashed. And so this show will be on podcast too shortly, people, and also join in our LinkedIn Leaders Live group, and we'll keep the conversation moving there. If Shona's got the link to that, she'll pop it in. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll pop a link in to the feed for the YouTube channel for Leaders Live. And Shona will put all those in the comments. And before I get on to what's next week, a couple of words on what's the purpose and why to Leaders Live. So it all starts with the idea and passion that you're more than you think, and we are building a community of like-minded people, folks, and this is particularly relevant to building back better businesses and people for us following the last 2 years of pandemic. And our motto is I to the power of we, and we're all about enjoying taking part in a group conversation for extraordinary conversations. And through these simple ideas, we help to make a difference and make the world better too, folks, through a spirit of freedom, joy and fun, and the feel-good factor that helps us to breathe well in our working lives. So a quick CTA from me, very short this morning. So basically I develop high performing teams and I fix your teams by boosting your business success via world-class online and in-person high performance teamwork programs. So if you want to build your team, please contact me. Very happy to talk to you. I'm a big fan of high performing teams, and any team can be one. It just needs some development work. So that's that one. And then the goose for next week, folks. So let me just come back onto the goose for next week. So on Tuesday, it's on Wednesday, the 22nd of June. We're Wednesday this time because we can't make a Tuesday. We're going to make a Wednesday this time. Wednesday, the 22nd of June, we'll be hanging out with founder and commercial director of New Beginnings, Angelique Bradford. She's been on the show before and she's a regular attendee and previous hangout guest, as I've just said, and she'll be chatting about busting the myth of negotiation. To fear or not to fear is the title. I think that deserves a and ooh. So how many times do you hear someone say, I'm a natural born negotiator? Well, what they really mean is that they screw people down on price and walk away with a massive stroke of their ego, folks. Not good for your breathing. And why, in fact, those that leave their ego behind work collaboratively to achieve better, longer-term relationships and deals that work, folks, for our future. So we can't wait. Be there or be square. It's been great to hang out with you today, folks. And so from, just turn that volume down just a little bit, from Shona, in the place of Nevsah this morning. Thank you very much for standing in and just being such a superstar for us. She's in the round circle at the top there. The round window is Shona. Nevsah couldn't join in this morning. So, and wish you a great week ahead and a speedy recovery for you as well, Birdie. Shout out for Birdie, our regular moderator. I hope you get well soon. That's all for now, folks. See you again. Ta-ra a bit. Cheers for now. Thanks, Shona. Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.